Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rocky Mountain Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us tonight. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists will not be able to see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions that are happening too, so be sure to sign up for more. And lastly, this presentation is being recorded, and that recording will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/RMACAC. And now I'd like to go ahead and turn things over to our presenters, starting first with Lewis and Clark College.
Thank you so much, Andy. Just getting my screen share going. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. I'm excited to spend the next 6 minutes introducing you to Lewis and Clark College. My name is Josh Verschow. I'm the Associate Dean of Admissions here at Lewis and Clark. Lewis and Clark is a private residential liberal arts and sciences college. We have a public conscience. It's a residential campus with a global reach. We're a community of students and professors that are pursuing ways of knowing, combining classic liberal learning with a collaborative, hands-on approach to education. And our students come from all over the world. They form a community of global thinkers and leaders, people who aren't afraid to throw away conventional ways of thinking. I think our students are drawn to the stunning natural beauty of our about 140-acre wooded campus. It's in the hills of South Portland, Oregon. They're also attracted to our commitment to sustainability, rigorous academic programs, and our outstanding study abroad programs. We're small. We have just under 2,000 undergraduate students. Our average class is about 17, and we guarantee that you'll graduate in 4 years. So you're not going to have difficulty getting the classes and the credits you need to be able to graduate on time. And all of our classes are taught by professors. We don't have any graduate assistants. So I think that Lewis and Clark students can be described as engaged. We have strong academics, and our students and our faculty are committed to learning together. They're collaborative. Our classes are small. Our students are very actively engaged in their learning. A lot of people wonder how liberal arts education prepares you for success after graduation, but it doesn't really matter what major you choose, whether it's biology, international affairs, psychology, entrepreneurship. Our students are learning strong communication skills. They're collaborative. They're exercising creativity, they're becoming critical thinkers, problem solvers, and these are really exactly the skills that employers are looking for. So Lewis and Clark students come from all over the world, as I said, and all over the country. They're coming together to share diverse ideas, different perspectives. They come from different backgrounds. That really is one of the incredible things about studying at a small residential college. That's really important to our core values. But we're not just studying. It's not all academics. Our students have fun too. They engage outside of the classroom in more than 100 different clubs and organizations. They play NCAA Division III sports, club sports, intramural sports. They work and volunteer and just have fun in the local community here in Portland. And we are incredibly lucky to be located in the green, quirky, wonderful city of Portland. Many of our students and alumni really describe their experience at Lewis and Clark as being the best of both worlds. Our campus is a beautiful forested residential campus right in a quiet neighborhood adjacent to a state park. And we're just 6 miles away from downtown Portland. It only takes about 15 minutes on our shuttle bus or driving to get right to downtown, and everything that downtown Portland has to offer: concerts, events, amazing food, a really vibrant art scene. And it also means that our students have ready access to internships, and in many cases, their first career starts here in Portland. So over half of our students engage in internships while they're studying at Lewis and Clark. And it's also really easy to get around, to get back and forth from campus to the city. We have a free shuttle. There's really great public transportation in Portland. We have bike share program, zip cars. So it's quite easy to get into the city. And of course, being in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, there are incredible opportunities to hang out outdoors. Like I mentioned, right next to us is Tryon Creek State Park, which is an awesome place with great trails to go hiking, running, even biking. And our college outdoors program provides you tons of opportunities to explore and learn and engage in the natural environment. So definitely you can take advantage of our proximity to the Columbia River Gorge, Mount Hood, ski almost every month of the year, and of course the beautiful Oregon coast. But another amazing thing about Lewis and Clark is really our emphasis on global learning. And we think that students, and students tell us when they graduate, that their experience studying abroad was one of the most transformative parts of their educational experience. Studying abroad can affect the direction of your academics, the major you choose, the career you ultimately pursue, and really all parts of your life. So there's so much you can learn about the world and really yourself by immersing yourself in another culture and spending a semester or a year outside of the United States. So if you haven't already started thinking about studying abroad when you're in college, no matter where you end up going, I definitely encourage you to do so. So just a couple of things to note about Lewis and Clark's application. This is definitely something that you can sort out over the coming weeks and months, but we are test optional. We've been test optional since 1991, so that's not new to us because of COVID. So you do not have to submit your SAT or ACT scores. And we encourage admission interviews. Those will be starting at the end of May. So check those out on our website. Also know that over 90% of our students receive financial aid. You're automatically considered for merit-based scholarships as well as need-based aid. So lastly, I'll say that I am very eager to work with you as you're exploring Lewis and Clark, as are my colleagues. So you can find their contact info online at the website here. And I encourage you not to be shy, engage, and ask questions. So thanks again for sharing some time with me.
All right, thank you to Lewis and Clark College. Next up, we have Linfield University.
Awesome, I'll just go ahead and share my screen really quick. Awesome. Hi there, my name's Isaiah. I am an admission counselor here at Linfield University. We are located right in the heart of wine country here in Oregon, in McMinnville. So we're about 45 minutes outside of Portland, about 50 minutes from the coasts, and about 25 miles outside of Salem. So we're right in the middle of everything when it comes to exploring the beautiful area that is the Willamette Valley. That's super accessible to Linfield students. Our campus sits just under 200 acres in total, so it's pretty spacious for our small student body size of 1,400 students. Those students come from 19 different states and about 19 different countries as well. The majority of our classes are 22 students or fewer, and we have an 11-to-1 student-faculty ratio. So you're going to get a lot of connections with those professors and a lot of opportunity for hands-on research, as well as collaborative research with your professors as far as exploring those opportunities as early as your freshman year if you know what you want to do. And our students are super diverse. We have 30% of our students who are first generation students. So we have a lot of resources here on campus when it comes to supporting first generation students who might not come from a background of a family with a graduate degree of some kind. We have 43 different majors. Some of our most popular majors are listed in this slide. And in our School of Business, we even have 7 different majors and 4 minors to choose from. And one thing that's great about Linfield is that if you pick a major and there's something specific within that major that you want to specialize in, our professors are really poised to help you explore whatever it is will help you reach your goal by the time you graduate. We also have one of the oldest nursing schools in the Pacific Northwest. We just opened up a new nursing campus in Portland. So if you were to study nursing, you'd do 2 years on our main campus here in McMinnville, and then 2 years up on our Portland campus, which we just opened up with new state-of-the-art facilities. And as I mentioned, there's a lot of opportunities for student-faculty collaborative research, and that's not just in the sciences. We've had students in our art department explore certain types of beeswax as a medium, and they got grant funding, and the professors were learning right alongside them. So it's a really hands-on approach, and that's really possible because of our really tight-knit community here on campus. And as far as studying abroad, I would say about 40% of our students here at Linfield end up studying abroad while they're here because Linfield will pay for that first round trip ticket for you. So that cost is covered and a lot of your financial aid will go with you. So the cost of studying abroad won't be super overwhelming for students. And we have all of these opportunities for students in a regular year, of course. For students to get that opportunity, whether it's a year long or a semester long, or even just an experience during our January term, which is just an accelerated term between fall and spring semesters. And our Linfield students are honestly super involved, whether they're tagging on a double major or a minor or getting involved in one of our many clubs or performing arts groups here on campus. There's a lot of opportunities, not only for students to get involved, but to find leadership opportunities here on campus, to start building their resume and building those connections while they're here. And that'll only strengthen the sense of community you feel here on campus and also poise you to have those connections for after you graduate for networking. And we are a residential campus. We do have a 3-year residential requirement, but you wouldn't be in the same dorms the entire time. We have a great number of on-campus apartments too, where you'd have your own bedroom and just share a bathroom with one other person. So you'd be able to get that same independent experience, even though you're still on campus where all the action is happening. And honestly, a lot of our seniors tend to stay on campus for their final year as well, just because they are so happy to be a part of the community and be really close to where everything is happening. And we are a Division III athletics school. About 30% of our students are actually student athletes. We really emphasize that student athlete balance so you wouldn't be completely dedicated to one thing while you're here. And even our athletes that are on our teams might also pick up an intramural sport while they're here, or they're active in other clubs or in our arts department. So there really is no limit on what a Linfield student looks like. And then moving forward into our application, we are a common application school. There is no fee. It's completely free to apply to Linfield. We have always been test optional, but now we are test blind. So now it won't impact any of your financial aid here at Linfield. And when it comes to financial aid, 99% of our students receive financial aid from us as an institution, with the average package sitting just over $40,000. And that really takes care of a lot of that total direct cost. And a lot of students typically end up paying close to what they would at an in-state state school, although of course we don't have a difference between in-state and out-of-state tuition. And just to wrap up, we are welcoming students for visits on campus, or if you just wanted to schedule a Zoom of some kind, whether it's with me in admissions or someone in financial aid, we're happy to talk to you. And I'll go ahead and put my contact info in the chat so you can reach out to me directly.
All right, thank you so much to Linfield University. And next up, we have Willamette University.
All right, thanks so much, Andy. Welcome to Willamette University. My name is Katie Campbell, and I am a Senior Assistant Director of Admission here in our office. My hope is that in the next few minutes, my presentation will inspire you to want to spend more time with us through a more in-depth virtual visit, or perhaps even an on-campus visit, which we are currently offering daily. Willamette is located in Salem, Oregon, which is the state capital and in the heart of the beautiful Willamette Valley. We are a liberal arts college supported by graduate programs in business, law, theology, and soon the fine arts, given our merger with the Pacific Northwest College of Art. We're located in a part of the country that is sought after for its natural beauty, diverse ecosystems, outdoor opportunities, and many places to explore. Willamette was established as the first university in the Western United States, founded before Oregon was even a state. Willamette began to educate and shape innovative leaders right from the very beginning, including our very first graduate, Emily York. She graduated with her Mistress of English Literature, although we don't confer degrees that way anymore. I mention our history because it's important to understand Willamette's rich heritage in order to understand who we are as an institution now. Willamette's legacy of leadership and impact in the community is exactly what current Willamette students find here today. We are a place that takes knowledge and turns it into action. Willamette's motto grounds the Willamette experience in a very real way. The motto, "Not unto ourselves alone are we born," sums up what those early alumni knew from their time at Willamette. We are in the world together, and our education should be a time when we practice and explore how we will have an impact on others. We talk about the motto a lot and continually challenge ourselves to live it in new and varied ways. Willamette focuses on providing students both in and out of the classroom to practice this idea of the motto, of making positive change through leadership, service, and innovation. In the classroom, Willamette students meet in small groups where highly engaged faculty lead primarily experiential-based classes. Small groups interact in classes that are designed to help students develop the important skills that will see them through their lives and careers, skills like critical thinking, creative problem solving, and the ability to consider varied perspectives. Our faculty are accomplished scholars. They research, write, and publish extensively, but first and foremost, they are teachers. Willamette faculty serve as mentors, helping students really learn to learn so they can grow and change as the world around them changes. It's no wonder Willamette has had more Oregon Professors of the Year than any other college in the state by quite a margin. We feel strongly that the incredible classroom environment at Willamette is critically supported by experiential and co-curricular activities. Things like study abroad, hands-on research, and internships are interactive out of the class experiences that all Willamette students participate in. Our unique location contributes significantly to our ability to provide these opportunities. So let me tell you a bit about our place in the world. We are an urban campus set in the center of Salem's quaint downtown corridor, and we sit only 76 feet from the state capitol building. You can imagine the internship and research opportunities that abound for our students in everything from politics to economics to psychology and data science, simply because of our proximity to and long-standing relationship with state government. Our unique location is also positioned right across the street from Salem Health, one of Oregon's largest hospitals. Our thriving pre-med program is well supported by our proximity to this great medical resource. Willamette also owns a 305-acre outdoor learning laboratory called Xena, where students can literally dig in the dirt of this unique region, restoring habitats, participating in forestry study, and even growing vegetables. Finally, Willamette is co-located with the Tokyo International University of America. The American Studies program brings over 100 students from Japan to live and learn with us in Salem each year. This program is a great reminder of Willamette's strong commitment to all things international. We value the experiential learning that comes from the exchange students who share our campus, as well as the amazing opportunities that students find while participating in the study abroad programs we offer. As you can see, Willamette is physically located in such a way that we are surrounded by opportunities for our students to extend their learning beyond the campus. And there's so much more to say, but before my 6 minutes are up, I just want to mention that Willamette uses the Common Application. We review applications holistically, and we've been fully test optional for several years. We never charge an application fee because we don't want that to be a barrier to any student seeking access to Willamette. And every applicant is considered for our generous financial aid awards. We encourage applications from bright, diverse, and prepared students who want to make an impact and interact with challenging ideas. So I hope that you will consider joining us in the application season. And please feel free to reach out to me directly if you have any questions or visit our website to learn more.
All right. Thank you so much to Willamette University. And next up, we have Reed College.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Dev DeVrad. I use he, him pronouns, and I am an assistant dean of admissions here at Reed College. Really excited to chat with you all today, kind of talk to you a little bit about Reed. So Reed is a small private liberal arts school. We're located here in Portland, Oregon. We're actually in Portland proper. We are about 5 to 7 minutes away from downtown Portland. So pretty close, but we're in a pretty residential and quiet area of Portland, over in the southeast quadrant. A lot of houses and apartments around us. A really cool golf course and rhododendron garden across the street. This idea of community is really big here at Reed. We really emphasize community, and that sort of manifests itself in a variety of ways. You'll see community in the student life here on campus. We have over 90 student clubs on campus, so there's lots of ways to get involved and build those relationships with your peers. We have about 1,400 students hailing from all 50 US states and 44 different countries. So tons of that global representation, all embarking on their learning and growth here at Reed. Reed is a kind of institution where people come because they love to learn. This is a school where we challenge ideas and ask the tough questions, and students really get a front row seat in their learning experience. We build community outside of the student life and even in the classroom experience. As a matter of fact, almost all of our classes here at Reed are taught in what we call a conference style learning environment. So you don't have a professor sitting up the front of the room lecturing at you for 2 to 3 hours, but you really unpack the content and the material as a group in this discussion format style learning environment. And that's really where you get to start building some of those bonds. We actually cap most of our classes so they don't go above a certain number, but average class size is around 15 students with a 9-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So you really get to know your professors well. Your professors get to know you by name and face. Your peers get to know you by name and face. As a matter of fact, all of our professors even go by first name basis. So there's no Professor so-and-so or Dr. so-and-so. We try to remove those labels and really just create this atmosphere where students can learn and learn for the sake of learning. We have a nuclear reactor on campus. That's a great fun fact about Reed. You're probably asking yourself why we have a nuclear reactor. The answer is why not? It's no longer than to be able to power a microwave, and any student can be trained in the reactor. As a matter of fact, we produce the most female identified nuclear reactor operators out of anywhere in the entire world. Last year, we had a history major who was our senior operator. So you don't even have to be a STEM major to be trained in the nuclear reactor. We have 40 different majors to choose from. Half of our majors here at Reed are what we call interdisciplinary majors. So they combine a couple of different areas into one to make a full program. Reed meets 100% demonstrated need for every single admitted student. Domestic, international, transfer, first year, it does not matter. Once you are admitted to Reed, we commit to meeting 100% demonstrated financial need for you. A majority of that's through grant dollars as well. Reed has the lowest amount of student loan debt out of any school in the entire Pacific Northwest. We want to make sure that we're giving you a generous financial aid package so you don't have to focus on how you're going to pay for school, where we want you to focus on the learning and the growth and the education itself. We also have a really fantastic study abroad program. We have about 50 different programs in 23 different countries, and you'll never pay more to study abroad than you would to just stay at Reed. So it's a really great way to get a global perspective on your area of study. That being said, thanks so much for hanging out with us and for listening. I'm going to put my contact information here in the chat box. And if you'd love to chat or talk further, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always happy to help. Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you to Reed College. And next up, we have Pacific University of Oregon.
Hi, everyone. I'm Maddie. I'm from Pacific University. And today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about what makes us unique. We at Pacific like to describe ourselves as a family. We like to build that community, have those relationships with one another, and take care of the world. And my job is to welcome you to that family and to introduce you to all of the opportunities that await you here at Pacific. So you're hearing a lot from Pacific Northwest schools today. So where's Pacific located? We are west of downtown Portland. So we're actually right in between the Oregon coast and Portland Metro. So you get this nice mix of both worlds. You still have that metro city that you can go to, get bubble tea with your friends downtown. But then you also have the proximity to the Oregon coast. It's just an hour's drive away. So when you come to Pacific, you have the opportunity to get engaged with internships, job shadows. We're going to talk about those. But you're also going to have a chance to enjoy life and that iconic college experience of getting to know people and making those memories. So at Pacific, we are a small school. You'll be interacting with those students around you, with those professors that are teaching your classes. And this is really important because we want to cultivate you as an individual that's going to enter the world and be successful in whichever profession you might choose. So this is Professor Chan. She teaches chemistry at Pacific. Any of you that are interested in sciences, pre-med, you'll probably take a class from her. But she actually studied at the University of Utah. She double majored in chemistry and dance. And that's what's really great, a really great example of the professors here that are going to encourage you to have more than one interest. So these are the 65 different areas of study. Now you might be looking for one in particular, but I'm going to encourage you to open up your college search, open up the idea to maybe taking a couple different classes in a few different things. So Pacific does education really well. We have a program that you can spend 4 years at Pacific, go right into our master's program and become a teacher in a high school right away. We have really amazing business programs that get you directly contacted with Intel and Nike. But then we also have a lot of health professions, those pre-professional tracks, the bottom corner. Pacific has over 35 different graduate programs, and many of those are in the health professions. So if any of you are thinking physical therapy, pharmacy, physician's assistant, we can get you a guaranteed interview into any one of those graduate programs here at Pacific. And that's really important, right? Because when you're in those interviews, we want you to stand out. So we're going to help you talk about the different experiences that you're going to have while you're here. So whether that's, getting involved in the healthcare around you. I've got a student who's currently volunteering in a vaccine clinic back home because she chose to do hybrid classes this year as we adjusted to COVID and meeting students where they're at. But then I also have students who are filming short videos and being able to produce and get those into local and national conferences and events. So there's going to be chances for you to try it out, right? We're going to ask that you try something. Internships are a great way to do that. Job shadows, getting outside of the classroom to experience it. At Pacific, we want you to be able to be in that interview wherever you're going to go and be able to say, hey, when I was in the classroom working with young kids, I realized that math needs to be in a tangible way as opposed to a lecture. So you're going to have those experiences, but we also know you want to have those experiences that are totally unrelated to anything to do with academics. Now we'll have those clubs and activities where you'll be able to build that professional portfolio, but then you're also going to have those activities that you can continue doing what you've been doing. So we do have athletics and many different musical, theatrical performance groups. Then we have a Mario Kart club that gets together and plays on our large lecture hall screens. and they get a pizza every time. So there's ways for you to build that community while you're here and take care of one another, right? So at Pacific, we also know that scholarships are going to be really important. So we want to encourage you to seek out those scholarship opportunities. Each of the universities you're hearing from today will have scholarships unique to them, and that includes Pacific. So we have scholarships for students interested in computer science and data science, biology, chemistry, outdoor leadership. We've got it for students who are interested in philosophy. So these are scholarships that can be added on top of an academic merit scholarship that I'm automatically going to consider every single one of you for when you apply. And 100% of students that get admitted to Pacific receive one, whether you have test scores or you don't. So at Pacific, we want to make sure that we build a strong financial aid package to set you up for success. So we're going to build that in a couple different ways. So applying to Pacific, we are part of the common application. It's a free application. If you want me to review your essay beforehand, I'm putting my contact info into the chat. Feel free to send it to me. I'll take a look over it. And then you also have your transcript, one letter of recommendation. So think about who you might want to ask for that letter of recommendation and see you in a positive academic light. And then it's up to you whether you want to send in test scores. And then feel free to, again, contact me at any time. Again, we're a family here at Pacific, so we want to include you. We want you to reach out to us at any point. So thanks for chatting with us.
All right, thank you to Pacific University of Oregon. And next up, we have the University of Colorado, Denver.
Good evening. My name is Jaime Alvarez. I'm Assistant Director for First Generation Ethnic Student Outreach at the University of Colorado, Denver. And I'm going to go ahead and start the slideshow. So YCU Denver, we're located in the heart of downtown Denver. We have around 11,000 undergraduate students. Small class size, only 27 students on average per class. We have a diverse student population. Half of our students are first generation, 42% of our students are students of color, 8% of our students are veterans. We have students representing 48 states and 64 countries. And then we have a variety of different programs. We have over 140 degree programs on our two main campuses. On our downtown campus, we have architecture, arts and media, business, education, human development, engineering, design and computing, College of Arts and Sciences and public affairs. In our medical campus, we have several professional health programs like medicine, nursing, pharmacy, dental medicine, public health, and graduate school. And then life on campus, we have 120 plus student organizations. We have cultural organizations, educational organizations. We even have a paranormal club. We have student government. We have paid positions within student government. We have paid student positions on campus. We have student leaders lobbying at the local capitol. And students were really behind making sure that we were able to build our newish wellness center that we opened up about 2.5 years ago. We also have club sports. We have 15 club sports. We have intramurals, and we also have an adventure desk. And the adventure desk rents out outdoor equipment. They also have a center for anybody who has a bike. They can go in and get their bike worked on and fixed. And then life off campus, we're close to the 16th Street Mall, which is a long street that has a lot of really good restaurants and stores. We're also next to Lemmer Square, which has a lot of restaurants and a lot of culture. We're also close to the Colorado Convention Center. We're near Santa Fe School Art or Santa Fe Art District, which has a lot of really cool museums and theaters and restaurants and so on. And then for arts and music, we're right across the street from the Denver Performing Arts Center. We also have an art gallery on our campus. We have the most small venues per capita, music venues per capita, that's the Denver area. And we're also not too far away from Red Rock. That's maybe about a 20-25 minute drive on a good day. Close to restaurants, within walking distance of restaurants and theaters and a lot of really cool things. Also really close to internship opportunities. CU Denver houses more internships than any other college in Colorado. And then close to all major sports teams. So we're right across the street from Ball Arena where the pro hockey and pro basketball teams play. We're also not too far away, maybe 6 to 8 blocks away from where the pro football team play, the Broncos, and then about 6 to 8 blocks away from where the Rockies play. So really close to a lot of really cool sporting attractions and music and so forth. And then also we're close to the mountains, so we're close to several ski resorts, and I think there's a total of 32 ski resorts in Colorado. And then how to pay for college. Obviously, you can complete the FAFSA, which is what you'll complete to be considered for, most colleges consider the FAFSA, the free application for student aid. You have scholarship websites you can go to, like scholarships.com, igrad.com, FastWeb. Specifically at CU Denver, we do offer scholarship money and financial aid. We do have a scholarship application that opens up October 1st of your senior year, and it closes March 1st of your senior year. We also administer WUI. So WUI is going to save students from Western states $11,000 more per year than students who are from Eastern states. And we offer the full, we fully implement WUI. So students who attend CU Denver from Western states can use that for any of our programs on our downtown campus. And then you can also receive scholarships in addition to WUI. So we don't count it as a scholarship. It's just a straight up tuition reduction. So it's a really good deal. And then the cost, if you look at WUI, you're looking at $18,690 per year. And so it looks like it's more like double the in-state rate. That's because we charge 150% the rate without the in-state stipend that students are receiving. So it's still a really good deal when you compare that to the cost for tuition per year for Eastern states. And then we also offer on-campus housing. We don't require that students live on campus. So many universities do have it as a strict requirement, but we don't have that as a strict requirement. So we are opening up a new residential hall this fall called City Heights. So this is really exciting. It's going to have 555 beds, and we're opening it up to our first-time students. We also currently have another housing facility called Links Crossing. So there's a couple of housing facilities that students can live in. And then after your first year, if you decide to live in student housing at CU Denver, then you can move into our other housing facility, which is for students of all levels of school. And then they offer roommate matching. They have also a housing application, which is open now for seniors. And then now what? If you're a senior, you can apply at our website, or you can complete the common application. It's a $50 app fee. And you can send us your high school transcripts to admissions transcript at ucdenver.edu. Probably the best way is to have your high school counselor send it directly to us, the digital transcript directly to us. And if you don't have an ACT or SAT, that's okay. If you're a senior and graduating this year, we're going to be test optional for both 2021 or for the class of 2021, sorry. So you're test optional, so you're not required to submit a transcript to CU Denver. And then the deadline, so we recommend that you can start your application if you're a senior when it opens up August, and then as quickly as possible early into your senior year. And I don't know if I have time for the video. I think I might have reached time. So I'm going to put my contact information in the chat box, so feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you have. Thank you so much for listening to the CU Denver presentation, and I'll hand it over to the facilitator, Andy.
All right, thank you to University of Colorado, Denver. You hit the mark right with your presentation, but just not enough time for the video. But I do want to say thanks to all of our presenters. That is our last school. We still have a little bit more time though. So I would like to invite all of our presenters that presented today to go ahead and turn their cameras back on so we can do a little round robin question here. So I'd like to ask all of you, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And let's go ahead and start with Lewis and Clark.
Thanks so much, Andy. I'll actually give you two really quick tips. The first one is just super practical. Email is hard, and there's lots of emails you're going to be getting from colleges. So make a unique email address to use for college admission, and use this when you register for the PSAT, the ACT, the SAT, because that's where you're going to be getting a lot of the communication from colleges. And my second tip of advice is less practical, but so many students at the beginning of their college search are thinking about whether or not they're good enough for a college and they're worthy of a college. And I would flip that over and look at colleges like, which college is worthy of me? Which one is good enough for me to go to? Because there's definitely a place out there for you.
I'll go next. Just to answer that, I would say just definitely trust your instincts when it comes to like when you're looking at schools and you're touring schools and you're talking to your admission counselors and whoever and maybe faculty members. Just kind of feel it out and just try and picture yourself at that school. And if you could see yourself really growing there and reaching whatever goals you've set for yourself at this point, then I would trust that feeling. And if it doesn't feel quite right, definitely listen to that. Just don't be afraid to listen to yourself.
I would say don't be afraid to ask questions. We are all here to support you throughout your college search, and we love to connect with you throughout this process. So please see us as resources and use us to answer your questions about our institutions, and give yourself time for breaks. We know that this can be a grueling process on your end, and that you put a lot of really hard work into completing applications. And it's really important to take time for yourself and to give yourself a break and to hit the pause button so that you can reset and come back to your applications fresh. So I hope that's helpful.
I would say talk to living, breathing students on the campus. A lot of colleges have ways to connect you to current students. So talk to them, ask them what it's like to be a student at that institution. A lot of admissions counselors went to the college they worked at, but not all of us. I didn't go to Reed, so I can't really tell you what it's like to be a student. I could try, but definitely try to connect with a student that went to that school and ask them the questions. Everything from what's campus like to how's the Wi-Fi to what's the food taste like. Those are some important questions because you're going to be there for 4 years.
My piece of advice would be to become comfortable talking about yourself, because the college application process and the interview processes, they're going to ask you about yourself, and those may be things that you're really passionate about, or some challenges, or some things that you've achieved in your life. And it's awkward to talk about yourself, and it's even a little more difficult to do it well. So talking with maybe your high school counselor or your grandparent or a friend, anyone in that close circle for you that you can talk to see what successes you've had and become comfortable referring to those when you're in these kind of situations.
And I would recommend connecting with local colleges to find out if any have any academic enrichment programs, any dual enrollment programs that you can take advantage of. I know a lot of you might already be seniors in high school, but if you're juniors, sophomores, these are excellent ways for you to earn college credit, to learn more about how college works. I've seen at CU Denver, I've been at CU Denver for many years, admissions for recruitment for about 17 years. And we see a lot of students who already have a year of college coursework, and some even with 2 years of college coursework. And they've been part of a variety of different programs, summer programs that they joined at the colleges. And so just really help them prepare for college.
All right, thank you. A lot of really, really great advice there. I definitely want to thank every one of our presenters for that advice and for presenting today, because we are actually just running out of time. So thanks again. Also, thank you to all of you for joining us today. When you close this window, there is going to be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback that you can provide on this session. Also, like I mentioned before, this is just one of many different sessions going on, so please be sure to sign up for more as well. And lastly, in about a week, you are going to be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings at strivescan.com/RMACAC. All right. Thanks again, everyone, and have a good rest of the fair.